Well, it's an additional tool for police officers to use, conservation officers to use when they are confronted with a situation where someone is in possession of bear spray in a public urban area. And you've mentioned what it's not. It doesn't apply in the north, doesn't apply in urban areas, it doesn't apply to retailers in terms of additional data keeping, which we've seen in some other jurisdictions. And the main focus here really is on possession in public urban spaces, malls, the exhibition grounds, and some of the incidents we've seen in recent years, pools on public streets where a police or conservation officer is confronted with an individual who has bear spray on them and is in possession of it or has used it. Certainly then it's a very serious matter, and it's really, as I say, an additional tool to criminal code provisions which go more to the use of bear spray rather than simply the possession. But possession in a public urban space, unlikely, as I said, that there are many bears wandering around downtown Regina or Saskatoon or PA or North Battleford or Moose Jaw. So generally we've seen a massive uptake in bear spray incidents over the last few years, either independent use of bear spray, and we mentioned, there have been, some 3,000 incidents over the last 5 years or so of independent bear spray use in urban areas. That doesn't include when bear spray is used as an additional part of a public disruption incident, and that is also something we're seeing, for example, in robberies and in other instances. Also very serious. This is just another tool where possession is the issue.
So to be clear, there's going to be no change to the requirements for purchase of bear spray?
No. And transport of bear spray, so no implications around purchase, no implications around transport, lawful storage, and lawful use in terms of, conservation, recreation, hunters, hikers. Certainly, it's a product that is used for safety in those sorts of situations. This is about public urban spaces.
So prior to these restrictions, what tools did officers have to seize bear spray that someone was in possession of?
Not explicit ability. They had the ability to charge an individual with use of bear spray under the criminal code, and that is a weapon for all intents and purposes. And there are a number of sections under the criminal code that apply to that. It's a weaponized product in many cases, but this provides a regulatory ability for police officers, conservation officers to actually fine people up to $100,000 for the possession of bear spray in a public urban space.
So can you talk a little bit about what the fine structure will look like? Will everybody be fined $100,000, or how will that work?
If found guilty by court.
They will be fined $100,000.
Up to $100,000. This is always a discretionary issue for police officers, conservation officers, not unlike many of the situations that they face every day. So whether they decide to pursue this as a regulatory matter under this act, and pursue fining an individual up to $100,000 will be up to them and up to the system. But that is a tool now at the disposal of police and conservation officers.
So what are the storage requirements for bear spray? Where can you store it? How can you store it? What's lawful?
Well, I think that the main point here is lawful storage is lawful storage. You can store it at your home if you intend to take it on a camping trip. You can store it in your car if you're driving to a camping trip. You can store it in your car and take it to somewhere where you intend to hunt or hike. That's not what this is about. This is about use and possession of bear spray in a public urban space. And we've seen too many incidents in recent years where this is creating great disruption, creating injury, and creating fear.